continuing on from our video last time, where we were looking at an introduction to fractions. In today's video, we're going to be exploring some common examples of fractions. We're going to give them some names. And we're going to look at them in some more examples. So we're going to look at more examples. And this is going to be across lengths, like objects, shapes, lots of different examples. So just as a bit of a recap from what we did last time, we're going to look at some more pizzas and other similar shapes and fractions again. So last time we looked at an example with a pizza. This time we're going to make it even simpler, and we're just going to cut it into two slices, where one of the slices of pizza has some ham on it, which I'll signify with this pink, and one of the slices of pizza has some, actually maybe I'll do it in yellow instead, has some pineapple on. Hopefully you can see that there, which I've signified in yellow. And the types of questions we were answering last time we were looking at fractions is how much of the whole pizza is ham? So what we did, we counted, okay, well, there's one of the pieces that we've got is ham, and there's there's two pieces in total. So 1 over 2, 1 out of 2 of the pizza is ham. Another way of calling this or writing this is just to say 1 half. 1 half. And that just means 1 out of 2, or sort of for every 2 pieces you have, one of them is ham. A little bit of a more complicated, not too much more complicated, but just slightly upping the level a little bit, is what about if instead we had, let's say we had a fruit salad, which was made up of, this part is strawberries, which I'm signifying in red, my wonderfully drawn strawberries there. You've got some blueberries, and you have some, let's say orange, some orange bits here. And you wanted to ask, well, how much of this salad is made up of strawberries? So we do the same thing again, sort of same strategy. We count, well, there's just one of these parts is strawberry, and there's 1, 2, 3, there's 3 parts in total, and what we call this is 1/3, so 1/3. And one last example, which is if we had, let's say having some chips. You had a plate of chips with some ketchup. So there's 1 part is ketchup here, 3 parts are chips, so there's 4 parts in total, so 1/4. And we call that 1/4. And these names are really important because these fractions just appear all of the time in maths. And so having a quick way to say, 1 out of 4 is a quarter, or 1/4, is just very helpful to us as mathematicians. Okay, so keeping that in mind, what I want you to now have a go at is to work out in these three pictures, which is made up of some fruit salad, if you have a plate of fruit salad here, and that's all of the strawberries. If you had a salad here, that was strawberries, and you had a salad here where that was strawberries. How much of each of the salads is strawberries? So try and match each of these three salads with a fraction down here. And if you need a hint, just remember that 1/4 is 1/4, 1/2 is 1/2, and 1/3 is 1/3. So pause the video and have a go. Okay, hopefully that's been enough time. So looking at this first example here, we have 1 part of strawberries out of 2 parts, which is 1/2. We have 1 part strawberries out of 1, 2, 3, so that's 1/3. And then 1 part is strawberries out of 1, 2, 3, 4, so that's 1/4. Okay, nice work. So now we're going to move on to some more, different examples, some examples that you might find, I guess anytime you're walking around, really, this first one. Because in this first example, what I want to look at is distance. So the situation is as follows. You are walking from your house to Sam's house, which is 2 miles away. And currently you are here, which is 1 mile away. And the question is, what fraction of the distance have you covered so far? Either in words or just as written as a fraction. What can you tell me? So if we think about what the situation we have here, well, what can be the whole? Well, the whole is the whole distance from your house to Sam's house, which is 2. And so far you've walked 1, so it's 1 part or 1 mile, which you've done. So 1/2 or 1/2 of the distance has been walked so far. Okay, nice work. So for the next question, we're going to look at some sweets, which you've got, which just draw out like this. And you want to spread them out between you and 2 of your friends. And because you're a kind, fair person, you want to spread them out equally. So we're going to divide, or we're going to split up the sweets between 3 friends. And the question is, how does this link to fractions? Or even just how many sweets will each of your friends get? So if you wanted to spread them out fairly, what you'd want to do is you'd want to split them into 3 groups of 3. So maybe you could say, give this to yourself, this sweet to friend, let's call them Ben, and let's give this sweet to Cameron. That's one round done. Give this sweet to yourself, this sweet to Ben, and this sweet to Cameron. So we split it up, and it turns out each friend gets 2. And how does this link to fractions? Well, if you look at what we've got here and compare this to the picture that we've got up there, we can see sort of it's 1/3 or 1 part, like this amount up here is sort of repeated here and here in the sweets you give to Ben and the sweets you give to Cameron. So another way of thinking of this is that 2 is 1/3 of 6. I'd actually say this is a pretty complicated idea to get your head around. Let me know what you think in the comments. As a final example, we have a pattern tiling, which I've used to decorate my bathroom. And the question is, what fraction of this tile is white? Here, this tile, or this part of the tile, this part, and this part is black. So we've got black, 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 and white. So pause the video and give it a go. Well, if we look at the black bits first, so we've got 3 black parts, and if we look here, if we sort of imagine you rotate the white part, you can see that it's the same shape, just at a bit different angle. So the fraction of the shape that is white is 1 out of, or 1 plus 3 is 4, or 1/4. Okay, so in this video we've looked at the names of some common fractions and a few more examples in some real life contexts.